Hey, have you ever written out your whole moto camping checklist and thought to yourself, how is this all gonna get into my motorcycle bags? Or better yet, you've laid it all out in front of you and you thought, there's no way I'm carrying all of this junk. Well, there's no need to worry because we've all been there before. So today, I wanna let you know what I see as the most common beginner moto camping mistakes when it comes to packing up the motorcycle. I'm gonna show you the tips and techniques that I use to pack and work around those mistakes. And finally, I'm gonna let you know the biggest mistake I see beginner riders make before setting out on a big adventure journey. This mistake is so detrimental that it can very easily cause you to crash your motorcycle. Okay, so we all remember the first moto camping trip we ever took. The setup didn't look like this. Instead, everything was loosely thrown on the back of the bike, tied down with maybe some tie downs, but most likely some rope and whatever else we could find in the garage. Not exactly safe. However, it was enough to get us addicted to the practice. So if you have caught the moto camping bug and you're looking to take plenty of more trips in the future, I highly recommend you invest in some premium luggage. And what I love most about the Moscow bag is that we have this external shell which provides structure and some protection for the bags. And then on the inside we have dry bags, and these keep everything waterproof and they're really, really durable too. Okay, so the next tip leads on from that, because when you have good luggage, you can really think about how you organize your gear and think about what stuff you'd like quick access to. So for example, I can open up my tail here, and in the zipper I have a head torch on hand, which is really great if you pull up to camp at night. I can quickly throw this on and get to the rest of my stuff. Also in here, I have a multi-tool. Again, quick access in case I need that. Other quick access points you could think of are simply clipping things like a mug to the outside of your bags. And another really nice feature of many bags is the use of molle webbing. And you can use lots of different types of molle accessories to strap to the outside. In fact, I've got a med pack on order, which I'm gonna stick to the outside of my bag. So that way, if I'm the one that goes down in an accident, my med kit is clearly visible to my friends or whoever I'm riding with, and they can easily access it without having to rummage through the bags and look for the med kit. One of the big challenges we face is storing the big bulky gear on our motorcycle. We want to keep our motorcycle compact and tight, particularly if we're riding off-road on our adventures. So with this multi-bag setup here, I can keep things very separate. In this right bag here, I have my food and my cooking gear. In the left bag, I have my tent gear, my spare layers, and I have some extra room for anything else that I might need to add on the way. Finally, on this back bag here, this is primarily all of my sleep system. So I've got my toiletries and spare undies. I've got my sleeping mat. I've got my sleeping bag liner because I sleep pretty cold. And then here we have the sleeping bag. And notice, I don't have my sleeping bag in the stuff sack. The problem is that these big down sleeping bags that keep you really warm, when you put them inside their sack, you get this really bulky piece of gear. And it sticks out massively on the back of your bike. Not only that, but because you've got this big barrel of a sleeping bag, you're missing out on filling all the space inside your luggage system. So taking it out of its stuff sack allows you to fill in all of those holes and maximize the space. Seriously, when I did this, I could fit maybe 30% more stuff into my luggage. Not only that, but the bike stayed slimmer as well. Similarly, on this side of the bike, in this bag here where I keep my tent gear, I separate the items of my tent to maximize the space I have at hand. I don't need the entire tent to be waterproof, so I don't need to put my pegs and my tent poles in the waterproof dry bag. Instead, they can go in the external pocket and maximize my space in here. So here you can see I have my tent poles, and in this bag here, I can fill with things like my goggles, my spare gloves, thermals, a down jacket, more spare parts, tools, and finally, my little tent. Lastly, if you're new to moto camping, you absolutely have to do this, because if you don't, you really could end up in a serious accident. And that is, you need to test ride your bike with all that luggage on it before you go and take your trip. Even if it's the night before and you do a quick few laps around the block, get a feel for what that bike is like with that extra weight. And if you are feeling uncomfortable, don't be afraid to make some adjustments, cut some things out of your pack that you don't need to make sure that you're feeling safe on the motorcycle. Now with that being said, I'd love to hear your tips for packing up the bike in the comments below. And if you want to know a little bit more about my tent, my sleep system, and my luggage, check this video right here.